Hey dude, just wanted to say thank you for doing the review. That was awesome. I figured it'd be easier to respond via video instead of typing everything out. There was a few things I wanted to reply to though. The dialogue, the your nitpick with the dialogue, that was a totally fair point. It was kind of preachy and wordy and matrixy. Uh, I wrote Never Go Back when Angela and I found out we were going to be having Adeline. And the movie was largely just a letter to my unborn child. Um, it was essentially like as much philosophy that I could, fit into one movie as possible that I'd want to leave her with if I, for some reason or another, wasn't around when she was old enough to comprehend these things. Uh, so it does get wordy, and I'm glad that you were able to, allow it to exist in that kind of world where people just speak like that, because that's kind of the decision I made going into it for the sake of being able to convey everything I wanted to convey through those characters. And that's probably a good segue into the mom. I really loved your take on the mom and her. I thought that was interesting the way you perceived her as maybe putting too much on young Oliver for the things that she would put in his head. Maybe questioning if he was too young to be have that kind of weight put on him. I never even thought about that going into it. The mom was one of the main vehicles that I used to channel myself through. The mom was like the version of me of like things that if it just got out of control, and that's why the mom ends the way she ends is that she couldn't. It was the world was too much to bear. So I guess maybe there was a little bit of that in there where her own problems were allowing her to make not the best judgments as far as how she communicated these ideas to her son. And I think that's a fear that I had, especially before Adeline was born and before I knew how I'd be able to communicate as a parent to my child. I definitely struggle with things like what the mom struggles with depression and anxiety, that I feel like is a result of living in a society that I largely disagree with the fabric of. And I was, I think, kind of just worried about how that might. I definitely wanted to convey these ideas and feelings onto my child, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to convey them in a way that was going to be a burden or put her in a place that I find myself currently in. And to answer your question about like if Oliver was if Oliver was just kind of echoing his mom's ideas and not really feeling them himself, or maybe in my mind, I think Oliver is, of course, he's heard these ideas his whole life. So I think the line might be blurred between is he just echoing his mom's sentiments or is he actually living out something that he truly believes. I think the answer could be both because I mean it's really all he knows. I mean, he has his dad's philosophy, but I think his somewhere inherently when I was writing it, it was just this feeling of like he is a little bit more of his mom than his dad in his heart and in just how the world affects him. And the mom dying in the way that she does was kind of like the catalyst for him, almost like a warning that the same fate awaits you if you try to lock yourself into this existence that doesn't agree with you. The tattoo on Dan's neck, on Oliver's neck, collarbone, that was pre-existing. But I think it works because Oliver is just it was largely based on myself and my brother and Daniel. Of course, that's my brother. If you don't know, I think you know. But anyway, that's my brother. Dan, who plays Oliver, is my brother. Him and I are very, very similar in our outlook, in our personality, in our appearance. So I wrote Oliver to be kind of like a hybrid version of the two of us, and so I think that tattoo just works that way because Oliver practically is Dan. Dan got the tattoo, so it works for Oliver, and I think it's a neat play on in juxtaposed to his outlook on life, and that's really how he is in reality. He really is like, don't worry, be happy, but also, what the fuck is happening? The split frames, that is a fair, the split screens that I did, that's a very fair critique. I probably, I guess the only way I could justify them is that I just got a brand new camera, and it had been a while since I shot something with a camera, and I was out in the wilderness, which I love, and it was like the perfect scenery with this beautiful camera. And when I got into editing, I just couldn't find a way to leave anything on the cutting room floor, so I came up with the split screen to show as much as I could without making a 3.5 hour movie. And the sound is another totally fair critique. I think you're actually a little too nice about the sound. We did our best. I had a dude I went to school with named Josh Halquist. He does not do sound, but he did sound for this, and he was awesome to work with, and he did more than just sound. He was pretty much everything that was needed. He's like a real life Boy Scout, but he was awesome to have. I don't want to put the sound on him. The sound is on me. That's the movie is where I learned. That movie is where I learned that having a dedicated, knowledgeable, experienced sound person is almost more important than having somebody that knows how to operate a camera well. Because he did great, and he did everything I asked, and he had it right where I wanted it every time, and the sound was just subpar. And even with experienced post-production work being done by people with experience in that, that's just the best that we could get it with what was captured. So it was a lesson learned, and I tried to put that that lesson learned into effect. And I'm gonna kill someone this Friday, and then even more so in Far From the Tree. Which also, thank you very much for the plug on Far From the Tree. That was really cool, and a nice surprise at the end. Yeah, it was really cool. I appreciate you doing that, and actually watching it made me kind of want to go back and check it out again. Just I really appreciated the way you noticed that character development between Oliver and his dad, and the way that dynamic kind of switched throughout the movie. That was something that was really important to me when I made this movie. When I wrote it, was to give characters their own story and their own voice, while I know I was trying to convey my own ideas through the characters. Something that I had noticed before writing that in my previous work was that all of the characters were just pretty much the same descriptor with a different name, all different versions of myself. And it was just like, it was a critique that I picked up on my own, and I tried to put it in practice when I wrote Never Go Back, and give each of the characters their own distinct voice, and their own journey that they go through, and really focus on each one of them individually as the movie goes through. So that was really gratifying to know that you picked up on that and that was conveyed. Again, thank you. And yeah, you said we're always, we've been such a huge support to you, but I feel the same way. I feel like, actually, I feel the opposite. I feel like you're more of a support for us and everything that we're doing. So again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, if there's anything that we can do to help you out with your channel, or anything that we can contribute in any way, don't be afraid, or don't hesitate to say something. because we would like to support more. All right, man, this fucking video response is longer than the video it's in response to, so I'm gonna go ahead and peace out at this point. How do I stop this? There it is. Later.